Welcome to the Midwest Moguls Show, where we talk all things business, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Let's dive into today's episode and make business enjoyable again. Welcome back to the Midwest Moguls Show. We have Chase Geibel here in the studio today. We were having a pre-recording conversation about weight loss. We're going to get into business topics. We're going to dive into everything while he is here with us for probably better part of like roughly an hour, if time permits on your side. But we can kind of dive into the topics. But we were discussing, just for everyone, so Chase, since January, tell everyone, or tell us again for the second or third time, how much weight, like what that journey has been like from, first off, how much weight you've lost, and just kind of fill us in.
All right, so it was like January 28th, I cracked down and really started on it.
Yeah.
I was 345 pounds. In the morning, I weighed myself.
Yeah.
After I went to the bathroom and took a shower.
Yep.
So totally
got the fluids out.
Totally empty, like my total
clean.
empty weight. I was 345 pounds.
Okay.
This morning, before I came here, I was 360.
360 or
Or
260?
260.
Okay.
Yeah,
260.
He's put on 20. No, but it's, and we can,
260.
I'm still getting used to saying the 300 or 200. Yeah.
That's freaking nuts.
It's new for me.
So it's, and I guess actually what I wanted to talk to you about. So now, like from your side of things, do you weigh yourself every single day?
Or is twice a day. In the morning.
Do you actually?
Yeah, in the morning in that same process after I go to the bathroom and take a shower.
Yep.
And then at the end of the day, right before I'm about to go to sleep.
And what do you see with the weight fluctuation from morning to evening?
Okay, so it can kind of vary, obviously. But it could be, I could lose weight that day. Like it could be a day where I don't eat anything and I was really physically active and I sweat a lot. I could be 5 pounds lighter by the end of the day.
Okay.
And then sometimes I could put on 5 pounds by the end of the day.
You think it's water weight mostly, or what are your,
mostly water weight. And then obviously the weight of food and everything too. Like it all counts and adds in. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah. And then you can kind of see sometimes I'll weigh myself and I'll eat and I won't go to the bathroom or anything by the end of the day, and it'll be a really calm day, haven't sweat or anything. And so obviously all that food is still in me, and it could still be 2 pounds lighter just because of how your body has broke it down and oxidized.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
That is
other
crazy.
waste that because you exhale water weight every time you take a breath or talk or anything. It does.
Start breathing a lot.
You do.
Joe's gonna start breathing heavy in the mic.
You do.
That's absolutely nuts. Now psychologically, because for me, I would always I am not in the habit of weighing myself. I don't necessarily associate great memories with looking at a scale, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm okay, I would rather look at the physical progress than the weight progress. But what has that been like for you? Obviously you were at a certain weight. Now you've dropped. You've seen progress. You've seen a crap ton of progress in the last 9 months, 9 or 10 months.
So I used to kind of do it like that, where I just I didn't want to see the number. Because I've heard that it can play with you a lot. You'll beat yourself up if you're not seeing progress at a rate, as you know. And what that kind of did, I think, is I kind of realized one day you're not really making progress that fast. And just for myself, and I knew when I had started losing weight the way I was doing it this time, after I understood nutrition properly and how to really, really eat clean and nutriently dense, I wanted to start seeing data, because I was doing some different kinds of fasting, and then animal-based diet, which is carnivore diet with fruit, and then the carnivore diet, which is just all meat, which I try to do just red meat because it's the cleanest and most nutrient dense. And so I started recording my weight every morning and night, because I used to just weigh myself once a week.
Do you track it in an app or something, or do you on paper?
I write it down. Cool. I write it down in a notebook. I sectioned out Monday through Friday, AM, PM, and then
That's cool.
I have really cool. Weeks. So every single day. And then if I was out for a night or I didn't come home that night, I don't beat myself up over it. I put a cross over it. I wasn't there. I wasn't home to weigh myself, or I took off in the morning fast.
Yep.
So I try to record everything for the data and analytics and something I can look back on and really see how fast I lost the weight. And I think it'd just be cool to look back on. I did a DEXA scan too a while back too, because I was on that mindset of like, I want the data for all this. Like, this is going to be cool to see. And then I lost the papers and they didn't have it on file again.
That sucks.
I know.
That's like, that would be sweet to do like a before and after on the DEXA. But with it, have you had your blood work done at all or no? Or is it something that you're interested in?
I want to.
I think that would be kind of, well, and it's hard not to compare it to like a before, but I feel like obviously right now you look a hell of a lot healthier than you once did. And that's not, like, I don't want to, because that always seems like a little derogatory. Like when you're saying that, it's like, oh shit.
Oh no, it's true. More people need to hear it.
Well, and that's where I'm like, but you look, it's night and day difference. And like shedding essentially a fucking human, another human, small sized human off your body, dwarf. You got like a dwarf sized human off your body. But with that, like just the amount, and you were telling me like, okay, your body feels better, your joints aren't aching, you're like, there's so many positives to doing it. And have you seen a reflection from your productivity standpoint, or what has that been like?
Yeah, so kind of like what I was talking to about Carter and Joe before is another main reason I wanted to lose all this weight is simply so I could work harder for longer to get more done, to excel more in business and my personal life, and just have a more all-out kind of life. Being 345 pounds, carrying around all that extra weight, it drags you down so much more than I ever even realized. I knew it was a problem, and once I started losing the weight compared to where I am now, I didn't even realize how much of a problem it really was, and I knew it was a problem before.
Yeah, correct.
So,
that's crazy.
That is.
It's doing that in like this amount of time too. It's got to be one of your more like main focuses. Like it has to be a higher priority to really stay on it. So that's kind of what it's been.
Yeah, like what I think about is like, and you had the realization, like you're young, you're very young. Like what was the catalyst for doing it? Because it's like people are surrounded with weight loss things and exercise programs and all of these different items and like small little bursts of motivation, but to hold on to it and do it for 9 months, 10 months, almost a year, like a year in the next, 2 months from now, essentially. So what was the catalyst for wanting to do that? Were you so, I guess you tell me, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
So I've been not really trying. I've really tried sometimes, but it's been something like this weight loss journey has actually been something that's been in the works since about 2015, somewhere 2015. Yeah. And I've had lots of different motivating factors. Yeah. It's been for girls before. It's just been for wanting to be looking better in school. It's been for wanting to be healthier because something traumatic might have happened somewhere else that you might have seen.
Right.
Some days or sometimes the motivators were just not feeling good and like just tired fast, can't work as hard. I work side by side with my friend who's fit, doing a landscaping job. We get done at the end of the day. I am absolutely smoked, need to go home and sleep. Yeah. He's going to the lake, jumping on a jet ski and going ripping and having whole nother party that night. And it's like you miss out on so much stuff. And over all this time, it's kind of just been like everything combining into one. But what really clicked it for me this time is I knew I wanted to be like an absolute beast in business. And when I look around at all the people that I aspire to and look up at, the one thing they all have in common is that they are fit. Yeah. They're all fit. I can't say all of them. There's obviously some big people that crush it, but if you look at the statistics, kind of have better luck. Yeah. It looks like the people that are fit do better. Yeah. Do better. There's more fit people that are doing good than there are fat people that are not doing good.
I think it's like on that side of things, it's in my opinion, it's much more difficult to be fit, become fit, than it is to make money.
Yeah.
At least in the grand scheme of things. And I think if you have the discipline, I think the discipline rolls over from fitness to finances or whatever thing that you're looking to improve in your life. And that's where, like, I found that when I'm at my best fitness wise, then it seems like everything is clicking, like
Everything
your brain's
else is
functioning
easier.
better. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's like even recently you change up some stuff with your diet or whatever the case is, and you perform so much better. You have the energy to go for freaking hours, 12 hours a day without any issue. And then you're adding in workouts to that and all these other things. Then it's like, okay, am I tired? Of course you're going to be tired after a really, really long day, but you can still be productive.
Yeah.
Which is freaking awesome. Like it's not discussed.
Yeah.
That's kind of the frustrating part.
Yeah. So that's like the biggest main thing is because I know I have to be an entrepreneur for the rest of my life and I want to do freaking amazing at it.
Yep.
So it was that realization that was probably 50% of it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is I wanted to become a fitter person.
Yeah.
To just be more attractive.
Yeah.
For a partner, and then I wanted to be healthier for myself, which I think that's like basically that's like 30% of
Correct.
it. Everything else is just so tiny. They're tiny. Yeah. It's like side effects of becoming the person.
Yep.
And so it was just wanting to become cleaner for myself. I used to have a lot of knee pain and hip pain all the time, and my right ankle would pop all the time when I was exercising, and my back would be sore, and my neck would randomly, like, it just felt like it just always hurt. I was always tense. Since losing all this weight, I've become more flexible, and as most people do that work out, they probably don't stretch enough. I'm one of those people, and I found I stretch now because like I really started making sure I stretch a lot, because it was like I was like, it felt like I got a freebie.
Yeah.
I've become more flexible, not really stretching.
That's insane.
I think just from losing weight.
Yeah.
I've become more flexible and mobile just from losing weight. And I was like, man, like it's like I got a little boost to like, okay, I start stretching now. Like like it got easier. It's even easier now.
Well, and walk us through, like, say, like, for even people who might be watching this or listening to this right now, like, and they're looking at least in their life to become healthier, feel better, perform better, whatever the case is. Walk us through, like, if you're going through a day in your life of food, meals, so on and so forth, and it might not be perfect, but like the ideal day of like, hey, I hit all my meals today. What does that look like?
All right. So the ideal perfect day is waking up around like 4:30 to 5 in the morning. Getting to the gym early. I like to work out on an empty stomach.
Okay.
Just that's a personal preference to me. Some people like a little meal.
Yeah. Pre-workout or coffee or anything like that?
How do I want to answer this? It depends if I want to sweat that day or not. Because caffeine, it was way worse when I was bigger.
Yeah.
But like throughout the summer, I would try to not, because it would make me sweat profusely. Like if I just do a little bit of nothing, I would start sweating. So, but lately, it's been like at least 200 milligrams of caffeine a day. I try and get that right away early in the morning. And then, so a little bit of coffee on my way to the gym. I'll grab like a Black Rifle coffee in the can. They're 200 milligrams of caffeine. Nice little hit. Perfect. And then it's about a 15 to 20 minute drive to the gym. So it kind of sets in. And then by the time I'm set up and working out,
fucking going crazy.
No, it's
that
starts,
rush of the initial rush of caffeine is, I think that's probably one of the highlights of my morning.
I was gonna say, just
you feel it rushing through your body.
I recently just discovered this new coffee that's at Quick Trip. It has nitric oxide in it too.
Oh, no shit.
And it's 160 milligrams of caffeine.
Holy shit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've been drinking that. It's less caffeine, but I think it opens you up way more because of the nitric oxide.
And explain what the nitric oxide, I guess, does.
It opens, it just opens up all your blood vessels. Like everything can just start moving so much faster.
Interesting.
So if you have to go to the bathroom.
I was going to say, it's basically laxatives. That's what it is.
Well, for your blood, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The blood goes
The
down
coffee
to
does the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, anyway, I'll go work out for 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
I'll do some low intensity cardio just to kind of get everything spinning for a while. And also, approach you want to take when you're trying to lose weight is you don't want to try to work out super intensely, even though the hard-hitting workouts are a lot of fun sometimes. If you work out too intensely, you'll actually like burn out a lot of nutrition and you'll have a higher like surge for wanting food.
Like you just get like the insatiable hunger.
Yep. So I try to do like a lower intensity cardio, just uphill on a treadmill for 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. And then I'll do some weightlifting, and I'll do that until I'll work a section like as you do.
Arms, shoulders, legs, whatever.
And then just kind of work it out until you're so pumped out that like it's difficult to lift up the fives. And like I just did that for everything all the time. And with the way that I've lost the weight, being on the carnivore diet, there's not really like there's usually a pretty good amount of protein coming in, and all the amino acids and vitamins and nutrients, everything that comes along with eating a lot of red meat. So basically the next day it would almost feel like it never happened. So the coolest thing along this weight loss journey is I've put on muscle and become stronger while losing 85 pounds since January.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Since the end of January. And that's unheard of. Most people can't lose 20, 30 pounds in a year. And if they do, they feel miserable the whole time.
Because the caloric deficit, and then it's more or less the nutrition, the nutrients. You're so deficient in so many nutrients and minerals and everything that your body is just, it's not used to that, obviously. Like your diet changes. But okay, so you work out fasted in the morning, then you get home. Do you have a meal right away after that, or you wait until lunch? Or
it depends. It depends how I feel. Because I've been doing this for so long, and I've done so many different variations of diets, and I've fasted so many ways. I can feel like what I need. If I'm feeling all right, I'll skip the meal just to stay in the lower calorie deficit, and just take on less volume of food into me. If I feel like, sometimes when I'm hungry, I'll ask myself like what am I truly desiring right now? Like, what does my body actually need? And sometimes it just comes from a want of, this would taste great. And there can be a function in that, but if it doesn't have to be done, it's in the long run, it's a lot better to just be disciplined and put it off for later. Have 2 steaks later instead of the one with the eggs.
Exactly.
That's insane.
And then my days kind of vary as far as like how active I am throughout the day. So if I'm not very active throughout the day, I don't need to eat that much. If I know, or if I was super active throughout the day after my gym session, I'll have a lot more food with it. I try not to be too crazy about watching like the calories or anything, because I just go off of how I feel. Because I'm in, when you're doing the carnivore diet, you're in ketosis. So sometimes you might burn fat at a slower rate, or sometimes it's faster. But the main thing is just always feeling good to keep rolling. I can't afford to feel down and burnt out and stuff with everything that I do. So,
wow.
So what, I guess, curious as to what kind of, I guess, meals you kind of set up for yourself. Is it you just have steak? Do you do ground beef and anything else? Like, what's kind of I guess a week, what would you kind of have?
So I like to make some some garlic scrambled eggs, toss in some bacon with it, or some sausages. But again, I'd like to stay away from pork because pigs aren't farmed very healthily. Some eggs, and then all kinds of different variations of beef. And I was obsessed with steak for a long time, but after you have it every day for like a few months straight, you just kind of want something else. So I've been experimenting with lots of different ways of seasoning just ground beef. I'll make some Parmesan Supreme, like cheese stuffed meatballs. And then I'll just have that, just meatballs, no sauce. Sometimes if I think I can afford the carbs and sugar, I'll add a little bit of marinara with it. So that's been like the most delicious thing for me lately.
It sounds pretty good to me.
And then
mouth is watering.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll add marinara into my my scrambled eggs too.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Delicious.
I've never had that.
It's super
Very
good.
good. I mean, people put ketchup on it. So.
Yeah.
I've been having over easy eggs lately, and I'm like,
Over easy.
damn.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah,
I got into that recently too. I never used to like that. I love it now.
No, that's kind of, and so like obviously with the amount of like, say it's meat or whatever that you're consuming, are you going to Costco? Or are you going to Sam's Club? Or are you going to Walmart? Or like where are you shopping for everything and anything?
All right, so my main gig that I do is buying and selling furniture. Okay. I am flying all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm around Green Bay, there's a shop up there, a restaurant called Mission Barbecue.
Yeah.
And you can get like, I think it's a half a pound brisket for like $13.
Yeah.
So I'll stop in there, get brisket. It's delicious, cooked for me, fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Good fats. You get lots of energy from all the fat.
Yeah.
If I can't hit that up, I'll pull up at Culver's. I'll order 4 plain burger patties or 6 or 8. Yeah. They look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
they're like burger patties. I'm feeding myself and like 20 kids a day.
What does that even like? How do they price that?
They have it. They have it in their system.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it like a couple bucks or a buck?
So
probably more.
If I get 4 cheeseburgers, it was like $14 from Culver's.
That's not bad.
No, no, it's great. You get 4 burgers from like Festival. It's like $9.
Yeah, no shit.
You got to take it home and cook it and do all that.
Yeah.
I can pull up at Culver's, be in and out in 10 minutes. Boom, boom, done. On my way.
Butter burgers.
Boom,
yeah.
boom, done.
Yeah, those are fucking delicious.
But then, no, they'll ask like, is this for a dog or something?
Yeah.
And it's like, you have no idea.
Yeah, it's me.
Got the dog inside me.
Yeah, this is for a dog, all right. Yeah,
that's funny.
It is. It's hilarious because they ask that
funny.
question. They ask that question a lot.
For a dog.
They're like,
that
because there's like animal lovers out there. They're like, what kind of dog do you have? Or something. Yeah. They're like, is this for a dog or
bull
like,
mastiff in the front seat right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want a pup cup to go?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So if I can't go home and cook myself, I can get it on the road, and then the next.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it is funny. I think
I
about
would
it.
just start barking. I'm a dog.
Yeah. But then
so
like
funny.
the second best place that I found, they say it's 100% ground beef.
Yeah.
Is McDonald's. I try to stay away from it though because who knows what it's cooked in.
Yep.
Right.
I try to stay away from seed oils because those omega-6 oils are highly inflammatory, which causes all the inflammation and pain that people have in their joints. If you just stopped eating seed oils, things would get better for you. But yeah,
Joe.
Yeah.
You need to change your diet.
I'm starting.
No, I know.
If you feel fine, whatever.
Yeah,
but if it's something you struggle with, and
Correct.
it's something your doctors will never mention.
Yeah.
And
well, and
they
some of
don't.
them, like I feel like with doctors, they're not incentivized to. It's the easier treatment is medicine.
Yeah.
In 9 out of 10 scenarios, because most people aren't willing to put in the work or do what it takes
the lifestyle
to become
change.
Correct.
Right.
And it's a huge lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Like this. It's not.
Yeah. It's been pretty exhausting.
Like
going
people call you-
changing habits and stuff.
Animals and dogs. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough out here.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rough.
I just got that. Oh my god.
That was good. So what I was going to ask you is, okay, so now, like initially when we first met one another, you were you were flipping couches, you were doing a bunch of different stuff. What does that look like now for work? Because you got the fitness down, it's transitioning into you wanted to be more productive on the work side, entrepreneurship, everything like that. What does that look like for you now?
I haven't been able to really put my new self to super hard work yet. The furniture thing has slowed down a lot. There's a lot more competition.
I can
so
imagine.
I do it at a much slower rate now. For the first 2 years I was doing it, I was the only one in the state.
Yeah.
So I'd go to Milwaukee 3 times a day for deals. And now there's 2 kids in Milwaukee. There's a kid in Sheboygan. There's a kid in Menasha, and there's a kid in Fond du Lac. Damn. So it soaks up most of my Milwaukee deals, my Sheboygan, Manitowoc deals, my Fond du Lac to Appleton, to the top of Little Chute, to Kaukauna, all that. It kind of soaks up a lot of that. So it's slowed down a lot, but it's just been better to have more energy to do other things. Yeah. And even though I haven't necessarily been like working the business, I still feel like I'm awake. I'm more awake while I'm awake for longer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be wide awake and like fairly like highly cognitive for like 15 hours or so. That's crazy. Yesterday I woke up at like 1 a.m. I don't know why. And went to the gym for 5 a.m. when they opened, but I was kind of up and doing stuff around the house before that. And then I still worked doing a landscaping side job until 4 p.m. And then left there, went home, did some more stuff, and it's like you can just stay on it. I know until you don't want to.
Well, I think the human body like is meant to move. It's meant to work. It's
100%.
It's meant to
feel better when you move.
Yeah, correct.
Stop moving, you're not going to feel as good.
And that's what maybe we'll have to get like I don't know if everyone would be down for it, but like a standing thing. I've seen podcasts before with like standing desks. Yeah. And then we're all just talking to one another. But Chase is like 5 inches taller than me.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
We'd have to crop out the camera. My torso's not that bad, but legs are a little short. So, but you were telling us like before, like something with trucking. So what did you mean by that? Like just dive into that because I don't know what you're
so back in March with a good friend of mine, I kind of dabbled into hot shot trucking business. Okay. Which is the same business model as like semi trucking with a semi and a trailer, except it's with like a heavy duty pickup truck and like a gooseneck, 30-foot trailer or something like that. Huh. And so starting out, I just bought a truck, or I should say we bought a truck. And we were just going to pull campers and bumper pull jobs, like hook up to a trailer, bring it from point A to point B. Well, of course, as it does in business, things don't happen how you just want it to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that didn't take off very fast. And then we got access to a trailer, but it wasn't a very big trailer, so we could do some loads, but not enough to stay busy Monday through Friday because like the smaller loads, they pay less. And of course. Yeah, so it's like for those smaller loads, that's kind of more so for people with big trailers that have open space. I want to pick up a few extra $100. Yeah, right. So it doesn't make sense if it's the only thing you're hauling. So that's been a challenge, getting access to a trailer. But I've just come into access with a 25-foot trailer that's 8.5 feet wide. I can do a lot more with that. Like literally just this week, I came into like a connect with that to get that rolling. But otherwise, before it was a 20-foot trailer that was 6 feet wide, and I've hauled like a crane attachment out to North Dakota. I've hauled farming equipment out to Montana. Yeah, I've hauled 3 generators to the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, and I don't know, just kind of starting it up has been. It's been frustrating not being able to take loads and not having a trailer and not making enough money to go get a trailer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I'm excited now that I have access to a good trailer rental to start cranking out like some big loads more consistently.
Damn. Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh.
I was like, my mind.
Yeah.
Chase is all about
hauling bigger shipments that pay better more frequently.
Yeah.
Cranking out the big loads over here.
You got a big load, I'll take it.
Joe, what?
No, that's going to be your new slogan.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to get clipped right there. Yeah. That's funny. But so how'd you even like stumble across that, like specific? Because I've never heard of
like the business.
Yeah, I've never heard of that
stuff on like TV about it, but not.
Have you?
Like it was.
It's just hauling random freight. There's TV shows about it, but it's on a much bigger scale, obviously, because it's more dramatic, makes for better TV.
Of course, yeah.
We got ice road truckers. You know, they're gonna die every time they take a load, right?
It's just them that end up like the shipment ends up falling off the trailer, and then you just watch them freak out, kind of thing. Yeah.
But no, I came into it because I have two good friends that are kind of in the trucking.
Okay.
One of my friends, he's kind of been wanting to dabble into it for quite some time, and he really started to take off with it in the last 2 years. And while my furniture business has slowly caught more attention and more people are starting to flip, it's created more competition for me, and it's slowed me down. And I kind of knew I had to pivot because in the first place, flipping furniture is very seasonal. Right. It's fast when it's hot outside and people are moving and people are buying furniture in and out of houses, right? That doesn't really happen fall, winter, spring. So I wanted something that was more stable, just to be more like mentally stable. It's kind of spooky not making any money for long periods of time. And then out of nowhere, you just come into random sporadics of...
That's like every single business.
Yeah.
We still have time.
Yeah, we still we go through the same thing. So,
so I wanted to dabble into something that made more money. If it was seasonal, I'm fine with it being seasonal, but it's just got to be able to carry me better from the season to the season. Yeah. So that way I can keep growing keep growing the business because it's fun, and do better in my personal life and for other savings and whatever. And I seen my friend having some mildly good success taken off with his trucking business. And I kind of knew like it can't take too much to really get started. It's a pickup truck and a trailer and a work ethic. And
because you have me thinking, and I'm like, okay, well, what businesses need obviously the trucking services? And I just think of like the local, like say in like Oshkosh here, like specifically, there's like a Kits and File lawn and garden store that they're selling tons of tractors or lawn equipment or whatever. And I would assume that someone's doing the shipping on that. I don't know if they are specifically or if someone else is. But like, what is the thought? Like, what is the ideal client? I guess in that.
The ideal client is going to be something more industrial, hauling something that's literally hauling something that's more expensive because it's going to cost more to transport because the company that's going to be hauling whatever, they have bigger insurance payouts. You know, if someone needs their lawnmower picked up from Richer and Schnell and brought 2 hours away,
that's what I was wondering.
Any Bob or Joe with a little trailer can go pick it up and deliver it for a couple $100. But if it's something that was really big and heavy and it needs a lot more special and heavy equipment, like it makes your time way more worthwhile.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
So like all of it so far has been very industrial. I did have one bumper pull job. I pulled a boat from Sister Bay, from the boathouse up in Sister Bay to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that was like $1,200 or it was like $1,250 to do that in 10 hours.
How do you charge by the mile, or what is the normal?
So far, every load has been charged by the mile because it's so far. But if it was something closer, I hear of people charging by the hour just because it still has to make sense. You got to fire up your truck and spend time hooking up to the trailer, making sure all your equipment's ready. If you're only going to be doing an hour haul, that still takes 2 hours or 2 or 3 hours getting everything set up and whatnot. So,
and do you like on that side of things? Is it because as I'm thinking right now, so it's like, okay, say you pick something up and it's your own trailer, like 25-foot trailer, 30-foot trailer, whatever the case might be. Now, like who's loading the trailer, who's unloading it? Like what does that process look like there?
Because so for all of my experience so far, the company will load it onto your trailer like how you want to, and then you're responsible for strapping it down. And then once you have it strapped down to how you like it, you let the company know, like the business that you're hauling it for, and they'll take pictures to, hey, this is how he strapped it down. He said he's good to go. Yeah. And then you also want to take pictures for yourself, of course, too. Right. And then you get to wherever you're delivering it to, and then you unstrap it, and there's usually a way to unload it. If there's special like directions for loading and unloading, it's usually listed in the load. Like sometimes people will like need cars hauled, and sometimes they'll get loaded for you, and then sometimes it'll say it must be capable of loading and offloading. Like it'll tell you. So
interesting.
If they're not loading it for you, there will be special directions.
Well, that's what,
and you kind of figure it out yourself.
Okay, because that's what I'm like. I just think of like the liability side of things. Like, oh shit, like this got screwed up along the way, or you're getting blamed, or whatever if something's damaged. and you don't want that to happen. But
and I guess I'm curious, like, so how do you find these clients? Like, is there a site that you go to? Do you do just cold calling? Like, how do you get in contact with these type of, I guess, industries and people that have these bigger items, more expensive, that are going cross country?
Yeah, so it's been really interesting learning that. I've probably cold called over 300 businesses in Wisconsin. And what I'm finding out is most places are actually pretty self-sufficient.
Yep.
And like the loads, like there'll be a company that produces something, and it's not necessarily the company that makes it that needs the shipping. It's the person buying it that needs the shipping.
Correct.
So a lot of times in these industrial businesses, I'm finding out that it's like the person has to figure out the shipping, and the product will just sit on their site till they figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been a shift in mindset. Is I got to find companies that are more so buying stuff to get it to them.
So I had a buddy, and maybe it's worth, like, I'll reach out to him because he used to work for a logistics company, and they would have to call like truck drivers to get these shipments picked up, or because like they were the go-to resource for that. And then like say the seller or the buyer would reach out to them, and then it was his responsibility to find the trucker basically to haul that from point A to point B, name their price, whatever the case is, and then he would schedule that. So he was almost like a scheduling agency for that specifically, and he said it was a pain in the ass to find people willing to haul.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's where I'm like, I don't know, like on that side, depending upon the size, because I know even Dale, he used to work with, or no, he's working with Jordan again, but that's what he was doing. He was making hauls for the same thing. And I think he had a box truck or whatever, so nothing huge, but still 15, 20 feet, whatever it might be. But
yeah, that's interesting. Cause I just like, was thinking, I mean, if you're at least calling like these companies and they do that sort of thing where they, client, or not the client, but the customer is going to have to figure out the shipping, letting them know like, well, can you hold on to my contact information and use me as a reference when people are asking, hey, do you know anybody in the area? Here you are, give them your number, and then you're able to basically kind of be that third party that they always go to when they have customers that are needing stuff delivered. They don't know who to call.
Yeah. So sometimes there's like private customers like that who are just random people that don't understand how to like find someone to haul what they need hauled.
Yeah.
Right.
Like people buy tractors and they need it hauled 10 hours because they bought it from some dealership up here and it's going to Indiana, whatever. They'll be like, all right, I bought this. And then the company like that they bought it from will kind of point them in the right direction. But you'll see some posts on like pages that are like, hey, I'm looking to get a tractor hauled. Who do I hit up? Correct. And so
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's what I was
seeing some posts like that.
I'm trying to think if I had something big, like where would we go to?
Who would you reach out to? I would say if the dealership offered it, like, or something.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would always go to. It's like, hey, do you have any contacts? And then they might have a couple, because I know, like when I was younger, a lot younger, probably 15 years ago at least, like we sold a dirt bike from obviously Oshkosh area to, I think it was somewhere in North Dakota, but we had to ship it. So we had to get a shipping crate and do all these things. In that case, we had to call like multiple different people just to see who would do it, but then scheduling the pickup, scheduling the drop off, I think that was a lot more difficult than we initially anticipated, and it just takes a lot longer. So I don't know, that is a very interesting concept. Like I would have, I don't know, it's
I have no idea.
Like with that, do you think it comes down to, like with any business, and we've been recently in our business, like we've been assigning out a lot more, we've been getting a lot more systems and processes oriented. Obviously, we met through the real estate side of things. Are you still have any interest in pursuing anything like that, or what are your thoughts there? Because I know you initially had a lot, and then like
it takes a lot of money to play that game, even with hard money lenders and credit cards and whatever. It's still you still need so much money on deck, unless like down in Milwaukee there's a hard money lender called Mach 1, and if you use them, you don't need any money up front. They write like over the balance to the title company, and then you get the the remaining amount out in full to rehab your property, so you don't need to do draws. So that's like that's like the only one lender that gives so much opportunity, but they only lend in the Milwaukee area.
Okay,
so
they're familiar with
I almost moved just for that. Well, that's kind of get after it. But no, the real estate thing, it definitely still has my attention, but I haven't been able to pay full attention to it because I've been pivoting on my main source of income, making something more stable for myself that makes more money and is more stable and more scalable. I feel like in what I was doing with the furniture, I kind of got like maxed out and bored of it. Yeah. Like I tried hiring a kid to clean stuff for me, and that worked out. But then he seen what I was doing, and then he's like,
rip off and duplicate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's like, well, I can start just doing this out of my garage. Like why am I working for $15 an hour for you? Like. So that's interesting. So it was kind of too easy to do that. I couldn't really scale it because people are smart enough to work at least that smart. So then there's like, I tried to really scale it, and I was getting a hold of furniture manufacturers because I wanted to open up my own store. I really thought I was going to do that. Like I was really about it. Yeah. That's what I was really pushing for before I got into the trucking. Yeah. And I was pushing hard for it. And there was a manufacturer in Tennessee, and they said that they didn't want to supply to me because there's too many furniture stores per like population of people in the area I wanted to open. And then Ashley Furniture Manufacturing, I got a hold of someone from there. I think his name was Tim. Yeah. And he didn't want to supply to me because I didn't have like a showroom floor that like could present their brand. Right. And so I started looking for commercial spaces to go all in and open up a store. And then I kind of seen like how much that was going to cost, and then how much money you need to make a minimum order of furniture, and then everything else that goes with that. And it was kind of, I was willing to do it, but then right before I was really about to pull the trigger on everything and get an order and get my own place and everything, Ashley told me the same thing, that they didn't want to supply to me because they supply to so many people in the area that it was a competition clause at that point. And then it was also the main thing of having not having a showroom floor. But also for my idea of it is I just wanted to find one good product that sells good, cheap, of course, cheap and sells fast, move a big volume. I don't really necessarily care if it makes big money if I can make up for it by moving a lot of the product. Correct. So like if I could order 100 gray 2-piece sectionals and that's all I sold, I know that wipe right out. Yeah. And then I offered free delivery, which is huge to so many people that that alone attracted so many sales. I'd have a sectional for sale, and someone else would have an identical sectional, and mine would be $300 more. And someone would hit me up and be like, "Hey, would you take a little less? There's this one for this much." And I'm like, "All right, go buy that one." And they're like, "Well, you offer free delivery." Exactly. And I'm like, "I do, don't I?"
That's huge.
Well, so like, because I was having a conversation with a guy the other day. In what I've found, like most people staying consistent, and I'm not saying this about you, but it's like almost something that I reflect on that happened with me as well. So I'm guilty of this as well, but not staying consistent with the thing that you want to pursue, like going from, hey, I'm having a little bit of success here, jumping over to the next thing, having a little bit of success here, jumping over to the next thing. And that's where like you never get enough momentum, I feel like, to
truly build something.
Correct. Right. And that's where like I am absolutely no different because I've done so many things. Then you're like, for some reason, when something is working well, like I seem to be like, oh, let's try something else. Yeah. And then you're like, why are you even doing that? Because you're losing so much momentum in the process. Mm-hmm. You're like, well, I don't know. It's just like the human psychology of fucking something up that's actually doing pretty well for you. Right. Yeah. But that's where I just like I get to thinking about that, not with anything that you're doing, but specifically in that conversation. I'm like, okay, since I've known some individuals, they're like it's one thing after another. Almost every time you talk to them, it's something different. But that's where, if you can lock in on something that you're like, shit, I see a potential, I see a future in this, or I see the scale, because a lot of businesses aren't scalable without you putting in more work. And that's where, even on the real estate side of things, like I'm 100% in the trenches every single day. Ideally, at some point, trying to get out of that. But again, for right now, it is what it is. Like you're doing it, and it's, I don't know, it depends on the business model.
Yeah. So I was basically like maxed out with like my potential in furniture. And I seen all the competition coming on, and I had seen two guys start flipping the year before. That kind of like, I knew it was slowing me down, because I'd see a deal for sale, hit them up. Hey, got a truck and trailer. I'll come and buy this right now. You know, you buy aggressively as you do in business. And they'll be like, sorry, I got someone coming to get it. Like, all right. And then a week or two later, I'll see that sectional posted by my competition. And I'm just like, damn it, this is this is war. Like, this is happening right now.
It's like with houses.
I was gonna say that. That's what.
It's the same
it's
shit.
happening
Like you go
now.
on that appointment, and you're like, oh, I got a higher offer. I'm like, motherfucker.
Wonder who it is.
And then you see it posted out.
So no, back to the question you asked me. Real estate definitely still has my like attention where I want to be long term. I just need to find a better vehicle to make more money consistently to float that. I don't know if I'll be so aggressive with flipping. More so, if I have a good business that just makes me good money, I think I just want to buy properties and hold on to them for 10, 15, 20 years for the long run.
Which is
and then
that's smart.
Them.
Like
if I can make money with something else.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say that. I think that's the best way to go about it when it comes to, okay, you already have this other business. You're making a lot of good money, you know, hauling a bunch of, you know, loads throughout the country and everything like that. So once you start making enough money using that
big loans on.
I know. I said it. I regret it. But basically, like, you then want to utilize like that money and store it into, or use it in real estate, but not go the flipping route, because then that takes time away from your actual business model that you have going.
With just the one house I flipped last year, I kind of realized how much of a like how much actually really happens. And I want to flip another one that's where I hire out more stuff to see how much different the stress is. Like
it's still pretty similar.
But like it's a lot different than beating yourself up every day working on the thing yourself. You know, you pay someone to come in and do it, and then you come back a week later and it should be done.
I do. And it's a different animal, and that's where like you have so many different experiences. And I think the one thing about business is you learn so much in the process that like I wouldn't take back any of the screw ups that I've had along the way, and even the conversations or situations that I've been in over the years. I'm like, okay, I'll take it more as a learning lesson than as anything else, and then you can just improve that in the future. And like for flipping or wholesaling, that's almost like a full-time job. The rental properties are ideally they're a lot easier than that. Maybe you have a front side renovation, but if you can stick it with property management, and I know like we had Josh Jensma in here. He was probably in a week ago, Friday or whatever. So we talked to him for a while, and it's like the real estate business in general it's tough. Like the concept is extremely simple, but the business itself executing on it is not.
You talk to people that have never done it, that they understand the concept. And it's like you have no idea. Like
the actual,
like you go get that rental and get that passive income.
And
there's so many moving parts, and I think that's what a lot of people don't see from the outside is that, okay, I'm gonna buy this house, I'm gonna flip it, and then sell it, make 30 grand. That sounds amazing. Sounds pretty easy. You know, get a good deal. But there's so many moving parts with contractors, with just the timing of everything. And what do you do if you're not able to get materials in time? And then everything. There's so much that goes.
One thing that happened to me when I was flipping the house, because I was like the main person working on it, is I got super sick for like a week and a half. And it's like, it doesn't sound like very much time, but
it is. That's a lot.
Drags. It drags. Like when nothing really happens for a week and a half, when so much stuff is supposed to happen, like it's like it almost takes. It's like you have to work so much harder to make up for that week and a half to get that progress done that you would have made. Plus, you still have to try and get done what you were going to get done that next following week anyway. Plus trying to stay sane and healthy and up and at it. And
that's where, so what I would recommend to anyone who's listening is try not to do the renovations yourself. And we just,
I'm in a similar situation.
He is flipping a house right now, and it's like, okay, you hired someone initially. What I probably would have done in your situation is make sure they do everything. Everything that needs to be done, make sure it's done. Pay them to do it. It's going to be done in freaking a week's time versus whatever, another month or whatever it's been. It hasn't been that long, but it's been, I think, still going on,
or going to be 2 months here.
Yeah.
Which is a lot longer than I wanted.
Correct.
And like all the paint and everything was done in
a week.
I think, well, like 2 weeks. I think it was a little bit closer because then they did the kitchen as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my biggest thing was I had thought, okay, all there is going to be flooring and painting, and that was it and whatnot. But then after the painting was done, it got messed up.
Yeah.
Someone had to redo it, had to do all the touch-ups. That someone was me. And I didn't think about trying to hire someone else to go and do that. And that's where I'm at right now. And it's just been dragging out because then I go there, I'm like, well, I see this this handle needs to get put on. This needs to get done. I'm like, shoot, there's so many things that it's just one person, going in there. And it takes so long. Like that's what we were in Wisconsin Rapids yesterday working on a project. And my dad and I were over there and we had to paint. We had to cut in, not even paint the full rooms because I went there last weekend to paint the rooms. But we had to cut in multiple rooms. We were there 6 hours with 2 of us. And it's like you hardly get anything done. We didn't get the plumbing done. We didn't get these door handles done. But I'm like, holy shit. Like the amount of time it actually takes that you're better off hiring out, unless it's very, very small. And just whatever. There's a bill associated with it, but also what's your time worth?
Yep. Yeah. I think that was like the main thing I realized after I flipped our house is like how poorly like my time was spent. Like it took like 3.5 weeks to do all the drywall, and I paid myself like $3,500 across those weeks. We could have paid $3,500 and it would have been done in a week, and I could have still been flipping furniture. Not to mention everything else that happened with flipping a house. Like I was so tied up that I did the math with all the deals that I had seen fly by on the radar, because I was still looking at it, of course, in all my free time. I'm addicted to the game. Like as we all, man, it's like this deal just flew by. It's like could have made $500 off that, and I'm sitting here painting this wall for the 3rd time, so that way there's no stripes in it. Like,
but that's where, without that experience, would you have learned it?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I say it all the time, like. For the function of making the money, I wish I could do it again and do it differently. But at the same time, with everything that I learned in the process, and like the siding people that came out and did that, and our gutter guys and our flooring guys, it was really cool to kind of get the experience of like managing and directing.
Correct.
Yep.
Like that was huge. And then one thing that was really cool about it is one day we cut a deal with the siding crew because there was something messed up, or I wanted something extra done, and I'm like, how much extra for that? He's like, just get lunch for everyone tomorrow. I'm like, what do you guys want? Pizza. We want pizza. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and got like 4 large pizzas from Domino's, and everyone was just sitting down and eating for an hour, and music is playing, and everyone's talking on their like 30 or 40 minute lunch break, and it's like it's like we're feeding these people while they're making their living, while we're making our living. And it's like this big loop that like feeds everyone, and it was so fulfilling and like cool to see. And that's from like that perspective.
When you start, and that's the one thing. It's like I almost look at it from the point of when you buy a property, you do everything else. You don't hire a single person. It's almost so selfish to do that, because it's like you're literally it's just yourself. Yeah. Versus, okay, we buy a place, we're hiring a crew of contractors, we're hiring a plumber, we're hiring an electrician, a roofing crew, window siding, whatever the case might be. There's so many other mouths that you're feeding throughout the process.
People are literally taking care of their families because of a transaction that you needed done.
Hired,
Correct. So then it's like from that side of things, I don't know. I just think
you almost want to help people. Correct. Like you want to.
You want to pay them to help you out, basically. And that's one thing that I'm gonna start journaling a lot more of like how the past couple of months
have
been going with this, because
document everything.
I've learned so much, and it's weird because I did a flip a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Now that one was a lot
easy.
smaller.
All
I had to do was call a guy and get carpet put in 2 rooms, and I had to paint 2 rooms, and that was it, and put some gutters on. So this one was way bigger. It's a 2,600 square foot house.
Yeah, that's huge.
Way more house than I was expecting to have for my next one, but I'm glad I did it, because now I know what it takes, and the things that stick out with a bigger project. If you don't manage it right, if you don't have the right people, that's a shit show. Yeah, it's a shit show.
It is.
So that's the biggest learning lesson, and that goes with anything. It can be flipping, can be other businesses, hauling different machinery throughout the country and everything like that.
Well, any final thoughts you want to add? We're at an hour.
But I got time if y'all want to keep chatting. But I was gonna ask, when you guys first started getting into marketing, because it's something that I think is gonna be in my future pretty fast here to try and get more traction. What learning curves? Like, what was a learning curve that you had, and things that you realized, and what worked, kind of like what didn't? Like, for the sake of all businesses, not just buying houses.
No, it's marketing's applicable no matter what the scenario. And I think with marketing, what so many people fail to realize is what I would first, before spending any money on marketing, like obviously there's you have to spend money, you learn throughout that cycle, and then you learn from your mistakes and also from your successes. But with marketing specifically, studying the marketing greats, and I can give you some resources after this, but that's where I've learned of, like, if your message does not have like a call to action. So it's like, what are you asking people to do? Mm-hmm. Like that's a huge thing. Generally speaking, you have to be relatable. You have to speak to a specific individual, the lead in their specific scenario. So is that a homeowner who's looking to sell a distressed property? Like, what are they going through mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically in some circumstances? And you have all these different things that go into the actual marketing message that when someone either hits a landing page or a form or whatever, like, what causes them to fill that out? What doubts do they have? Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm working on a website for a guy right now of, like, I needed to know, like, what I specifically asked him is, I'm like, okay, what is the actual sale that you're trying to make? Like, what are you asking these people to do? And he told me, and I'm like, well, then I go to the initial hesitations that I would have as a prospect. Mm-hmm. And it's the same hesitations for motivated sellers specifically is, okay, how do I know this isn't a scam? How do I know these people are legitimate? How do I know they're not going to just lowball offer me? Like, all these different things that pop in to their mind, how do I specifically sell a property that I've been living in for 15 years? How do I sell this one and buy the next one? All these different things that if you can answer that in your marketing, then generally that results in a lead. If you cannot answer that in your marketing, then
they're going to look for where it can be answered.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And it's the more resourceful you can be, that's where, like, our landing page has a shit ton of video on it. Yeah. That just refers to all those different things. So I don't know. That's what I've been, and that's becoming more and more my focus, just to get better and do more. So, and you can achieve a little bit more.
I feel like, and like the other thing, like going off of what Carter said is, and what pretty much to sum up is, you have to almost get in the mind of the target you're actually trying to market to. Like, what is this seller going to be thinking when they receive a postcard, when they see this link, and really understand, okay, also, if I'm that client too, am I actually going to want to click on this if it says this and that? Like, you have to really just put yourselves in their shoes and embrace that aspect of, okay, what's going to grab your attention? What's also going to not lead you down the wrong path and not make it seem like a scam, like you said.
Correct.
So
there's a lot of webs, like, there'll be like really good ads. You'll click on the ad, you'll see the website, and you're like,
it's a little sketchy.
I'll try and find this somewhere else.
Yep. Correct. Yeah. And that's, again, like, there has to be this correlation from the actual message to the medium that you're marketing on, the message that you're providing, then are they going to fill it out?
Do you think like that scenario I just described, do you think that happens from a cheaply made website? Like the website itself doesn't like the tabs don't open, like it looks very plain and basic, like it just looks like it was made fast. Like it's not like the functions in the website, it's not like easy to use, like
well, I think
the search bar doesn't work.
Yeah, like that. So on that side of things, I think that mainly happens just due to the fact of like, yeah, that definitely comes into play. But if there's no personality or whatever behind it, like if they can't tell if this is legitimate or not, like the easiest way to avoid that is by putting a freaking video right there of like, hey, this is me. I'm the owner of the business. This is what I'm asking you to do. Here's what will happen if you fill out the form or register or buy this product or whatever the case is. They can associate a face with a name, with a company, with a whatever. There's actually a human component to it.
Yeah.
When there's not, that's when it feels like a scam.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
True.
Yeah. That's why we have photos.
We have so many videos.
Yeah, we have videos and we have photos of ourselves and like of us on there, so then they can see, okay, these aren't just, random people. It's not just a scam. Like these are actual real people that live in the area, that it just
I was going to ask when you guys decided to start putting yourself like in the ads, because I see some of your ads and it's just a picture of the house with a landing page, and then sometimes it's a full blown video. And so it was just kind of like when you realize that.
Yes, and that's like the human component. Because I went to a conference once, and they're like, okay, for anyone, especially right now, the amount of research that most people do before doing anything is incredible. Mm-hmm. So how do you want them to gain this knowledge? Is it from you, the expert, the perceived expert, or is it from another perceived expert that they're going to end up registering on their website or buying their product because you didn't do the upfront work to provide them with the information that they were seeking? So when I realized that, I'm like, okay, so what questions do homeowners have? At least in our line of work, how do cash buyers determine offer price? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty relevant question. What is the process like if you're buying and selling a house at the same time? All these other things, like what if I don't go through a realtor? Who handles all the paperwork? Like what is that sales process like? So you're answering all these things before it becomes a question in their mind, and they're like, oh shoot, I was wondering that, or that helps kind of break that pattern of even trust versus untrustworthiness. So
you're telling them stuff that they didn't even know they needed to know.
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Hit the like and subscribe button down below. Stay tuned to the next one, and I'll see you soon. Peace.